श्रीराघवम् दशरथात्मजमप्रमेयम् सीतापतिम् रघुकुलान्मयरत्नदीपम् आजानुबाहुम् अरविन्ददलायताक्षम् रामम् निशाचर विनाशकरम् नमामि नमामि नमामि
Ramakatha Rasavahini. Chapter 1. Rama, Prince and Principal. The name Rama is the essence of the Vedas. The story of Rama is an ocean of milk, pure and potent. It can be asserted that no poem of equal grandeur and beauty has emerged from other languages or from other countries until this very day. But it has provided inspiration to the poetic imagination of every language and country. It is the greatest treasure inherited by his good fortune by every Indian. Rama is the guardian deity of the Hindus. The name is born by the bodies in which they dwell and the buildings in which those bodies dwell. It can safely be said that there is no Indian who has not imbibed the nectar of Ramakatha, the story of Rama. The Ramayana, the epic that deals with the story of the Rama incarnation, is a sacred text that is reverently recited by people with all varieties of equipment, the scholar as well as the ignoramus, the millionaire as well as the pauper. The name that Ramayana glorifies cleanses all evil. It transforms the sinner. It reveals the form that the name represents, the form that is as charming as the name itself. As the sea is the source of all the waters on earth, all beings are born from Rama. A sea sans water is unreal. A being sans Rama is without existence now or ever. The ocean and the Almighty Lord have much in common. The ocean is the abode of the Almighty, as myth and legend proclaim. They describe him as reclining on the ocean of milk. This is the very reason behind the title given by Valmiki, son of Prachetas, the great poet who composed the epic. To each canto, Khanda. Khanda means water, an expanse of water. It also means the sugar cane. However crooked a cane may be, whichever section you chew, the sweetness is unaffected and uniform. The stream of Rama's story meanders through many a curve and twist. Nevertheless, the sweetness of Karuna, compassion, persists without diminution throughout the narrative. The stream turns the flows through sadness, wonder, ridicule, awe, terror, love, despair, and dialects. But the main undercurrent is the love of dharma, righteousness, and the karuna, compassion it fosters. The nectar in the story of Rama is as the Sarayu river that moves silently by the city of Ayodhya, where Rama was born and where he ruled. The Sarayu has its source in the Himalayan Manasa Sarovara, as his story is born in the Manasa Sarovara, the lake of the mind. The Rama stream bears the sweetness of Karuna. The stream of Lakshmana, his brother and devoted companion, has the sweetness of devotion, bhakti. As the Sarayu river joins the Ganga and the water commingles, so too, the streams of tender compassion and devotion, the stories of Rama and Lakshmana, commingle in the Ramayana. Karuna and Prema, love, make up between them the composite picture of the glory of Rama. That picture fulfills the heart's dearest yearning for every Indian. To attain it is the aim of every spiritual striving. The effort of the individual is but half the pursuit. The other half consists in the grace of God. Man fulfills himself by self-effort as well as divine blessings. The fulfillment takes him across the dark ocean of dualities onto the immanent and transcendent one. The Ramayana has to be read not as a record of a human career, but as a narrative of the advent and activities of an avatar, incarnation of God. Man must endeavor with determination to realize through his own experience the ideals revealed in that narrative. God is all-knowing, all-pervasive, all-powerful. The words that he utters while embodied in the human form and the acts that he deems to indulge in during his earthly sojourn, these are inscrutable and extraordinarily significant. The precious springs of his message is the path of deliverance for mankind. Do not look upon Rama as a scion of the solar dynasty, or as the sovereign of the kingdom of Ayodhya, or as the son of Emperor Dasharatha. Those correlates are but accessory and accidental. This error has become habitual to modern readers. They pay attention only to the personal relationship and affiliations between the characters of the story they read about. They do not delve into the values they represent and demonstrate. To elaborate this error, the father of Rama had 3 wives. The first was such and such, the second was of this nature, the third had these traits. Her maids were of this ugly type. The wars fought by Dasharatha, the father, were characterized by these peculiarities, those specialities. In this manner, fancy leads man astray into the region of the trivial and the colorful, making him neglect the valuable kernel. People do not realize that the study of history must enrich life and make it meaningful and worthwhile, rather than cater to the appetite for paltry facts and petty ideas. Their validity and value lie deep within the facts and fertilize them like subterranean water. Wear the glasses of bhakti and shraddha, reverent adoration and steady dedication. Then the eye will endow you with the pure wisdom that liberates you and grants eternal bliss. As men squeeze juice out of the fibrous cane and drink only the sweetness, as the bee sucks the honey in the flower, regardless of its symmetry and color, as the moth flies towards the brightness of the flame, ignoring the heat and the inevitable catastrophe, The sadhaka, spiritual seeker, should yearn to imbibe the karuna rasa, the expression of the emotion of tenderness, pity and compassion that Ramayana is saturated with, paying no heed to other subjects. When a fruit is eaten, we throw away the skin, the seeds and the fiber. It is in the very nature of nature that fruits have these components. Nevertheless, no one will eat these on the plea that he has paid for them. No one can swallow the seeds and digest them. No one will chew the outer rind. So too, in this Rama fruit called Ramayana, the tales of Rakshasas, demons, ogres and the like form the rind. The wicked deeds of these evil men are the hard, indigestible seeds. Sensory and worldly descriptions and events are the not too tasty fibrous stuff. They are the sheaths for the juicy nourishment. Those who seek the karuna rasa in the Rama fruit should concentrate more on the central narrative than on supplementary details that embellish it. Listen to the Ramayana in that mood. That is the best form of Shravana, process of spiritual listening. On one occasion, Emperor Parikshit fell at the feet of Seth Sukha and asked for instruction on one point that was causing him dire doubt. Master, one riddle has been worrying me since long. I know that you can solve it for me and that no one else can. I have listened to the narratives of the lives of my forefathers, from the earliest, the great Manu, down to those of my grandfathers and father. I have studied these stories with care. I observe that in the history of every one of these, there is mention of sages attached to the monarch, some learned scholars saints who are members of the court, attending darbars and sharing the business of government. What is the real meaning of this amazing association of scholars with kings and rulers, playing subordinate roles and counseling them when asked? Those revered elders will not, I know, engage themselves in any activity without sufficient and proper reasons. Their behavior will ever be pure and unsullied. But this makes my doubt unsolvable. Please enlighten me. Sukha laughed at this question. He replied, "You have asked a fine question, no doubt. Listen. The great sages and holy scholars will always be eager to share with their fellow men the truth they have grasped, the sanctifying experience they have won, the elevating deeds they have been privileged to perform, and the divine grace they have been chosen to receive. They seek nearness to those who are in charge of administration, those who are adepts in ruling over peoples, with the intention to use them as instruments for establishing and ensuring peace and prosperity on earth. They implant high ideals in their minds and holy ways of fulfilling them. They prompt the performance of righteous actions in accordance with just laws. The monarchs too invite and welcome the sages, seek out the scholars and plead with them to be in their courts, so that they can learn from them the art of government and act according to their counsel. The monarch was the master and guardian of the people, so they spend their days with him for the estimable purpose of realizing through him the yearning of their hearts. Loka samastha sukhino bhavantu. May all the worlds be happy. They were eager to see happiness and peace spread over the world. Therefore, they tried to equip the kings with all the virtues, fill them with all the moral codes of discipline, arm them with all branches of learning, so that they may rule the realm efficiently, wisely, and with beneficial consequences to themselves and their subjects. There were other reasons too. Listen. Knowing that the grantor of joy to humanity, the mentor of human morals, the leader of the solar line, the dweller in the heaven of eternal bliss will take birth in a royal line, sages who had the foresight to anticipate events gained entry into the darbars of rulers so that they may experience the bliss of contact with the incarnation when it happens. They feared they may not get such access later, that they may miss the bliss they could well garner. So, they profited by their vision of the future and established themselves in the royal capital in the thick of the community longing for the advent. To this venerable group belonged Vashishta, Vishwamitra, Garga, Agastya, and the other sages. They had no wants. They were monarchs of renunciation. They sought nothing from anyone. They were ever content. They appeared in the audience halls of the emperors of those days, not for polemics and the pomp and punditry, or for collecting the costly gifts offered to such disputants and guests, or for decorating themselves with the burdensome title those patrons confer on the persons they prefer. They craved rather for the darshan, bliss of the vision of the Lord, and for a chance to uphold dharma, righteousness in human affairs. They had no other objective. The kings too in those days were immersed in thoughts divine. They approached the hermits and sages in their retreats in order to discover from them the means of making their subjects happy and content. Often they invited them to their palaces and consulted them about the ways and means of good government. Those were days when there were sages with no attachment to self and scholars with no craving for power. Such were the men who tendered advice to the kings. As a consequence, there was no lack of food or clothing, of housing or good health for the people of the realm. All days were festival days. All doors were decorated with green festoons. The ruler felt that his most sacred duty was the fostering of his people's welfare. The subjects too felt that the ruler was the heart of the body politic. They had full faith that he was as precious as their own hearts. They valued him as such. They revered him and paid him the homage of gratitude. Sukha explained the role of the sages in the royal courts in this clear, downright manner before the large gathering that was sitting around him. Have you noticed this? Whatever is done by the great, whichever company they choose, they will ever be on the path of righteousness, on the path of the divine. Their acts will promote the welfare of the entire world. So, when the Ramayana or other narratives of the divine are recited or read, attention must be fixed on the majesty and mystery of God, on the truth and straightforwardness that are inherent in them, and on the practice of those qualities in daily life. No importance should be attached to extraneous matters. The means and manner of the execution of one's duty is the paramount lesson to be learnt. God, when appearing with form for the sake of upholding dharma, behaves in a human way. He needs must, for he has to hold forth the ideal life before man and confer the experience of joy and peace on men. His movements and activities might appear ordinary and commonplace to some eyes, but each of these will be an expression of beauty, truth, goodness, joy and exaltation. It will captivate the world with its charm. It will purify the heart that contemplates it. It will overcome and overwhelm all the agitations of the mind. It will tear the veil of illusion, Maya. It will fill the consciousness with sweetness. There can be no ordinary and commonplace in the carriers of avatars. Whatever is seen and taken as of that nature is really superhuman, supernatural, deserving high reverence. The story of Rama is not the story of an individual. It is the story of the universe. Rama is the personification of the basic universal in all beings. He is in all, for all time, in all space. The story deals not with a period that is past, but with the present and future without end, with beginningless eternal time. No ant can bite without Rama's will. No leaf can drop from its branch without Rama's prompting. Sky, wind, fire, water and earth, the 5 elements that compose the universe, behave as they do for fear of him and in tune with his orders. Rama is the principle which attracts and endures through that attraction the desperate elements in nature. The attraction that one exerts over another is what makes the universe exist and function. That is Rama principle, without which the cosmos will become chaos. Hence the axiom, if there is Rama, there will be panorama, universe. End of chapter 1. Sai Ram.
श्री राम जी की महिमा अपार, राम जी की महिमा अपार। सुन लो तो बेड़ा पार, सुन लो तो बेड़ा पार। श्री राम जी की महिमा अपार, राम जी की महिमा अपार। श्री राम नयना मुखारविंदा, श्यामल छवि अति सुंदर राम। करुणा स्वरूप श्री राम, निर्मल स्वभाव श्री राम। करुणा स्वरूप निर्मल स्वभाव, भक्तों के प्राण गुणशीलवान। नीरज नयना मुखारविंदा, श्यामल छवि अति सुंदर राम। रविकुल मंडन दशरथ नंदन, मुनि मनरंजन नयन विराम। राम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम राम श्री राम। श्री राम जी की महिमा अपार, राम जी की महिमा अपार। जय जय श्री राम, जय जय श्री राम, जय जय श्री राम। जिनकी कृपा ने आखर बितारे, एक ही बाण ने दुष्ट संहारे। ने पाथर बितारे, एक ही बाण ने दुष्ट संहारे, चरणों की धूल ने पापी उधारे। जन्मदिन उन्हीं का मना लो आज, जन्मदिन उन्हीं का मना लो आज, मुबारक हो सबको जन्मदिन की रात। रघुपति राघव राजा राम, पतित पावन सीताराम। रघुपति राघव राजा राम, पतित पावन सीताराम। राम सीता राम सीता राम सीता राम, राम सीता राम